Howdy fellas, Frankie Day back again YouTube. This evening YouTube I have update build report number 1 of Arron Newlands Matchbox Community Group build featuring my 1980 kit of the HandlyPage Hetford bomber. Okay fellas, I've been in this about 7 hours today. So far on the construction of the kit I've done more than I should have, along with the publication of this kit I had for many years. The publication on the left of the fuselage of the Heyford right here. This publication is 1980 from it's an English modeling magazine called Scale Models, and believe me, these English publications are worth their weight in gold, because there's so much information on there, a lot of wonderful tips there you don't get in domestic model magazines as they have in the United States of America. Along with this publication here, I can actually follow Mr. Tony James, the aircraftsman, an English gentleman, and he built got some tips off there. As you can see in the fuselage, I added some stringers on there to simulate the langerons going through the fabric, as I point out right there. Those done with sprue right there, folks. The kit doesn't show that detail in there. All it gives you is a bland 4 sides. So to make it more prominent, it's good to add sprue on there, which I did, following Mr. Tony James, his build on this magazine here. And it works real good. No fit issues all over the kit. The cockpit's comprised of 4 pieces, not very much detail, but a lot of detail's got to be added to make this cockpit come alive. But since I'm not going to go that far around, I was building right out of the box. I'll slide the magazine over, folks, right here. I'll put their fuselage aside and we'll go through it. Now here it is, guys. This is Scale Modelers. This is a 1980 edition, and this is how my model is going to look when I get done. And I've got all the decals for it. This is a wonderful publication. I'll tell you, there's a gentleman right there, Mr. Tony James, aircraftsman. And there's his model of the Heyford he did for Matchbox. He didn't build this out of the box. He added a lot of scratch-built parts by using cardstock and whatever he used on there. And the same thing I'm using on mine. So instead of using ply card on there, I went ahead and used sprue. It's more prominent that simulates the langerons of the fuselage frame assembly. Right here, folks, shows details of the cockpit right there. This is a must right here. Anybody's building the Heyford bomber. These are all pictorial. These are actually builds and sub-assemblies, how he does it. And he explains in the text right there how the model is actually constructed. And believe me, this is a very fascinating airplane, folks. I mean, I know nothing of the Heyford bomber. I know that they made a modification back in the 1930s. They took the bottom wing off and left the top, and they changed the engine arrangement around, engine nacelle, power plant around. But I'm building this as is right here. And this is a very great building essential for this model. So I'm going to relish this with the build. So this is going to be a very fascinating build, and I'm enjoying it already. So I'll let the fuselage dry overnight, and tomorrow I'll go ahead and do a little wet sanding on it to make sure the seams are filled. No putty at all used on this, folks. I use a flat jeweler's file on there to eliminate the seams, and use wet and dry sandpaper with plenty of water. The seams have been eliminated. The forward fuselage section, here's a gondola right there. That gondola don't retract, it just rotates. And there's a seat in there where the gunner sits at. I imagine that thing does fold back in. It probably does. I think that gondola does retract inside the fuselage. Not on the kit though, but on the real aircraft it was done. Oh, there's Lord Ho-Ho again. Give you a thumbs up, a stamp of approval for Arron's community group builds featuring Matchbox kits. We'll zoom in. We'll finish up the video, and we'll talk a little bit here and there. And so far, the build's going quite good. I'm taking the time. I got 7 hours already invested in the build, and I'd like to thank Mr. Arron Newlands for letting me join his community group build. He hasn't replied to me to join or not, though. But if anybody wants to join, it's free for the pickings, folks. These Matchbox kits are a must. I tell you one thing, I wish I would bought more of these Matchbox kits. I got one more Matchbox kit in my stash. It's a Western Lysander at 1/32 scale. That'll be a nice one too. A very beautiful kit. This kit's going on quite well. I got a lot of work on it, so it's about a 3-week build of this model. And right over here, we'll zoom into my Super Cub. This is the last of Arron Newlands Trainer Aircraft Group build. So far, airplane's down to sub-assemblies, all painted chrome yellow. I'm letting the wings dry. Tomorrow, I just piece it together, add the decals, and voila, she's done, boys. And my end of Arron Newlands Trainer Aircraft build is terminated. So we'll zoom in again. You can see the sprue alongside there, folks. So I added inside the Lodge Roger. It really spruces up the model compared to as it was. See on top of that fuselage, folks? That's what the sides look like. So mounting sprue right there really adds a plus to the build. And it's a pretty good size airplane for 1/72 scale. It's a very enjoyable build. And okay, boys, it's time to give you guys a wave off right there. It's time for you to get off right here. And I'd like to thank everybody out there for tuning in and comments. And I'm very sorry about the SVD Dotless Matchbox kit I done for an Arron Newlands Matchbox group build. Somehow the Google Gremlins has been heckling my computer, and so far it turned off my like and dislike features on there, and so I had to go through it and reset everything again. So boys, we'll see